So we have the start of Spa in the wet conditions like Portugal. Prost was on pole, I was second. Important to be well off on the green lights and therefore be away from any potential accidents and a lot of spray from other cars. So I managed to be first, Piquet was second, and then he spun off exiting the first corner and slowed down a little bit all the rest of the field, which gave me a good break right from the first corner there. I had a nice lead from Prost and Alboreto, and then Mansell and Johansson and the two Barclay cars, and then Rosberg, De Angelis. But on the top of the hill the track was getting quite dry already on the first lap, because Spa is a well spread racing track, so you have rain in one piece and the other side maybe with sun. So it was a hard job to decide when to stop for tires. We were all on wet tires, of course, but after very few laps almost everybody started stopping for slick tires, and at that moment we see Mansell taking over Prost, the second position, and starting to put some pressure on myself, and then Keke coming strong over Mansell with slick tires, and then Piquet as well with slick tires, a lot of spinning wheel on the pit straight. At this time myself and Mansell were still on wet tires, and the tires were going off quite badly. There you see the hectic pit stop of Ferrari, the car going on the floor. It was a very slow one. A lot of spinning wheel now, as you can see there, smoking from the tires. There is Ghinzani with the half of his nose destroyed there, driving on three wheels. And at the same time Johansson, just after the pit stop, was off the track with Patrese making a shortcut. And at this time I was just behind Mansell exiting the pits. I had a slower pit stop than him, so it was important to take him as soon as possible. As you can see there, just out of the pits I tried by the outside over the wet with the slick tires, and that was really a chance that I decided to take, because with the Honda so much powerful on the race conditions, it would be difficult to take him on the straight eventually. I found myself that moment in third place behind Boutsen and De Angelis, but in one lap I got back into second place with Mansell coming from behind as well, quite strong, because those two were still on wet tires. Like you see there, Elio De Angelis still on wet tires. So going up the hill on the big straight line, I managed to take my teammate over the wet bit of the track. There was a dry line where Elio was, but at the end of the straight I could come back on the dry line, and Mansell did the same thing to him a couple of corners later. So the pressure was at that moment strong from Mansell. We both had our pit stop, so we didn't have to stop for tires anymore, and the conditions were very slippery on one side of the track. Here is the worst bit, and as you see now, Mansell losing it from behind, from the back, and this part of the track was almost wet the full race distance, and Alio loses that as well. But this side, which was the opposite side, was almost dry, and Keck was pushing Mansell quite strong for most of the race. A lot of fight going there, and that was giving me a bit of relaxation at the same time while they were fighting. But then Mansell loses the car there on top of the hill, make a shortcut like Patrese earlier on. At this time the track was drying more and more, and it was a good end. It was very good for the team, especially to win another race after such a long time early in the year, and good to be on the rostrum, especially on the top spot once more. And there you must make the best of it. You don't usually get in this situation, So spray champagne everywhere and enjoy it.